Eric McAvoy, the visual effects producer for Marvel's Cloak and Dagger. Hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, it's our pleasure, and there's so much to talk about for season 2, so let's get into it. What do you think you have spent, what scene do you think you have spent the most man hours creating? What was the most challenging, maybe?
Okay, so the part in episode 7, after Ty goes and rescues Tandy.
Tandy, you okay?
I mean, he rescues her, but she kind of rescues herself also. And he kind of expends all of his energy and falls down and essentially bleeding to death. That took a lot. Because, we wanted to interact with everything. If you notice, it goes up, it kind of rolls up the stairs, and we go into like, how high does it go? Does it just explode out? And it's like, no, we want it to be this, bleed out of what Tyrone is doing.
And I'm a total noob, so I'm curious. How do you make the actual effects?
Yeah, well, for instance, the dark energy effect from Tyrone, it is all computer generated, and Tyrone in particularly doesn't have any kind of props besides his cloak, or his hoodie, I should say, to play off of. So you take what he's doing, you use gravity, you use wind, you use restrictors to help get the particles to move the way you want it to, and then they generate a particle system based off of that and run simulations, and it's all physics-based.
Who knew there was so much science?
There's a lot of science and a lot of math. So,
But for Tandy, I'm curious. I know that, she produces light, and that means that you have to potentially use light in a different way when you're shooting. How do you incorporate practical elements to create Tandy's powers on set?
there is a dagger prop, and the dagger prop is lit up. So there's the battery pack that gets run through into the dagger and it lights it up. So we have a nice basis to start with. But then we take that basis and then we enhance it. So you run it through the computer to shape it, to give it a unique quality. Because the nice thing about the dagger is that it's asymmetrical. It's something that there's a lot of irregularities to it. But we want to take it to the next level and give it some kind of unworldly property that you wouldn't normally see in real life.
Speaking of Tandy's light and the way she manifests it, we get to see a new sort of power for Tandy this season with her big light bomb.
Yes.
What was the idea behind creating that, and how did you go about it?
Well, again, this it's a new power. It's not something that's even in the comic book, really, which is a lot of fun for me because I'm like, oh, cool, I can kind of create something that's new and kind of gets into the canon of everything, which is really neat.
And I've also been lucky enough to see a little bit of the behind the scenes, which it seems like an interesting sort of challenge for an actor because she kind of has a tennis ball full of light on set that she's manifesting that then you guys have to go, I assume, and remove.
So again, we're using a practical starting place. They built a sphere with LED lights on it to give some interactive light on the pole. And they bring that in every time she wants to build it into what's going on. And she uses that. She uses it quite a lot, actually, in this season. And it's pretty cool.
I really give you kudos because you and the VFX team really have to create the emotion of all of those sort of inanimate objects and other things, or animate inanimate objects, as it were.
Yeah. I mean, visual effects in general is another character of the show, or anything that you're watching, and whether it's an actual character or an extension of a character, there is acting involved in it. We do have to look at it that way and really feel like we're a part of the cast.
And that's what it all comes back to, is telling that story.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Be sure to watch Marvel's Cloak and Dagger at 8, 7 Central, Thursdays on Freeform. And be sure to catch up on Hulu, freeform.com, or on demand. And get even more Marvel's Cloak and Dagger behind the scenes on the Marvel After Show. Check it out on marvel.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.